Heaven just filed your case under divine reward. Watch what happens next. My beloved child, your case has reached my courtroom. It has been reviewed, stamped, and filed under a new title, Divine Reward. No more evidence is needed. No more defense required. The verdict has already favored you. You wake before dawn with a feeling you can't name. The air is thick, as if creation itself is waiting for something to be signed. You sense motion, not outside but above, the sound of unseen pages turning. The room shivers once. A soft light begins forming near the ceiling, swirling slowly until it shapes itself into a scroll of living fire. It unrolls, and in the center glows your name. Letters of light, gold, steady, deliberate. Then that voice again, familiar, absolute. Archangel Michael. Your case has been escalated, he says. Every moment you stayed kind when cruelty seemed easier was recorded. Every tear shed in silence became evidence. Heaven has reviewed it all, and the file now sits on the highest desk. He pauses, eyes burning brighter. The label on your record has changed. Where it once read trial, it now reads reward. That change is irreversible. Behind him, walls of light shimmer with movement, millions of scrolls sliding into place, celestial bureaucracy running with divine precision. Yet among them, one shines brighter. Yours. You have been cross-examined by life, Michael continues, but found faithful. And heaven compensates faith like currency. He gestures toward the glowing scroll. Instantly, waves of golden dust pour out, wrapping around you. It doesn't burn, it recognizes. Each spark carries memory, a prayer you thought unheard, a moment you forgave and no one saw, an act of kindness you almost forgot. This, Michael says, is your interest. What you invested in pain is now paying in peace. The scroll seals itself with a single burst of white light. The stamp appears, approved. The room stills. Even the air feels quiet, like heaven has taken its hand off the gavel. Now, Michael says, the world will respond to the ruling. Doors that ignored you will remember your knock. Voices that doubted you will speak your name with honor. The invisible balance has tilted in your favor. His tone softens. Do not rush to celebrate yet, he adds. Divine reward doesn't arrive like lightning, it descends like sunrise. It begins softly, then becomes impossible to ignore. He steps back into the light, wings folding as the room fills with warmth instead of brightness. Rest, child, he says. The court of heaven has adjourned. The verdict stands. The blessings are being dispatched. The glow dissolves. You fall back onto your bed, heart trembling, eyes wet, not from fear, but from a calm that feels earned. Outside, dawn breaks early. The world looks slightly brighter than it did yesterday, as though heaven is leaking favor into the atmosphere. And somewhere above you, stamped into eternity, your case file glows with one unchangeable headline. Divine Reward, Active Processing. The night after the verdict feels different, like the universe has taken a deep breath in your favor. Everything around you moves with deliberation, the ticking clock, the whispering leaves, even your own heartbeat, each sound syncing with a rhythm that doesn't belong to this world. You dream again. A hall made of glass stretches beyond sight, lined with countless pillars of light. Between them, rivers of gold flow upward instead of down, carrying letters written in flame. Angels move through the corridors, each holding scrolls that shimmer with names. And then you see him. Archangel Michael walks toward you, no longer carrying a sword but a seal, round, radiant, engraved with the mark of finality. The dispatch has begun, he says. Heaven's messengers are now distributing what the verdict released. You look down at the rivers of gold. They divide, each stream finding its own direction. Some toward homes, others toward hearts, some toward places you once loved and thought lost. Every current represents a delivery, he explains. Peace sent to where fear lived. Provision sent where need grew. Joy dispatched to the coordinates of old grief. You ask softly, will I see it? Michael smiles faintly. You'll feel it first. He waves his hand, and one of the rivers rises from the floor like a thread of living light, winding around you. Inside it, images flicker, people you helped, strangers you forgave, moments you thought invisible. Each memory glows and expands, turning into waves that flow outward, touching other lives. Blessings travel on the roads you built when no one watched, he says. Every selfless act created a channel. Tonight, heaven fills them. The current bursts outward, scattering drops of light that fall like gentle rain. Where they land, things begin to move, opportunities reignite, doors you stopped knocking on click open by themselves. Michael's eyes shine like quiet fire. You'll notice coincidences that aren't coincidences, he continues. Calls you didn't expect. Letters that arrive on time. Hearts that remember you kindly. These are heaven's couriers wearing human faces. He steps beside you, lowering his voice. Understand this, divine reward is not a single gift, it's a rhythm. It repeats until recognition becomes gratitude. Gratitude is the signature that completes delivery. The hall begins to hum louder. Angels lift scrolls and release them into the air, they unfold into beams of light that shoot through the ceiling, vanishing toward earth. The entire place glows brighter with each dispatch, like dawn multiplied. Michael places the seal against your chest. It leaves no burn, only warmth. This will keep you aligned, he says. If you remain thankful, the flow continues. If you fall into bitterness, the stream narrows. Heaven rewards persistence, not perfection. You feel the weight of that wisdom settle into your bones. It's not about chasing miracles anymore, it's about staying consistent with grace. Michael looks upward, listening to something you can't hear, then nods. The first installment has already reached you, he says. You'll recognize it when relief feels stronger than reason. He starts to step back, but pauses, his expression softening with affection and authority combined. Do not fear overflow, he adds. You cannot outgrow grace. Let it move through you. The more you release, the faster it refills. The scene brightens until everything dissolves into gold. You wake to sunlight piercing the curtains, ordinary morning light, yet your spirit knows the difference. Inside that light you sense motion, somewhere, something is being arranged in your favor. Your phone buzzes with a message you weren't expecting. A door you thought closed sends an invitation. A debt once ignored is suddenly forgiven. None of it loud, all of it aligned. The dispatch has begun. Heaven works like wind, unseen, undeniable, unstoppable. You close your eyes, whispering the only line that fits the feeling now humming through your veins. The file was divine reward, and heaven is paying on schedule. The manifestation. Morning rises not with noise but with evidence. Coffee tastes sharper, colors look fuller, air feels easier to breathe. Nothing dramatic, just an unmistakable sense that the invisible has moved. You walk outside and the world greets you differently. The same street hums with a rhythm that matches your heartbeat. The wind touches your face like a signature confirming, yes, it's begun. Then, in that quiet moment between heartbeats, the atmosphere folds again. A shimmer, thin as breath, wide as eternity, and Archangel Michael stands beside you. No thunder, only light steady as sunrise. Do you feel it? He asks. You nod. It's more than emotion, it's recognition. This is manifestation, he says. The unseen arriving in material form. What heaven finalized has entered matter. He turns his gaze toward the city. You follow it. Everywhere you look, motion aligns, traffic flows smoother, people speak softer, small kindnesses multiply like seeds finding fertile ground. When spirit resolves, he continues, matter cooperates. Creation remembers who's in command. He gestures toward a passing stranger. The man drops a wallet, another picks it up and returns it with a smile. Nothing spectacular, yet somehow it feels cosmic, like the planet is practicing fairness again. Michael lowers his tone. Your reward doesn't fall from the sky. It grows through alignment. Every choice to stay gentle is architecture, every grateful thought, a wall built from light. He moves closer, tracing a circle in the air. Inside it appear scenes. You laughing again after years of guarded silence. An idea that once failed returning in improved form. People you helped long ago now helping others. All simple, all sacred. Heaven never repays in coins, Michael says. It repays in continuity. You breathe in, and for a moment the city around you feels alive, every window glinting with intelligence, every sound belonging to a choir you can't quite hear. This is the phase where gratitude becomes gravity, he adds. What you appreciate now stays. What you ignore, drifts. The words settle inside you like laws older than language. He points toward the sky, faint currents of gold spiral down, landing on people below. They don't see it, but they pause, smiling for no reason, letting someone merge into traffic, holding a door open. Blessing multiplies through behavior, he explains. Each act of kindness confirms the case heaven closed. You look at him, wondering if such balance can last. He answers before you ask. It lasts as long as awareness lives. Keep noticing light, and light keeps noticing you. Then his wings extend once more, their edges dissolving into day. Your part is simple, he says. Live as proof that justice can be gentle. He lifts off, not upward, but outward, merging with the horizon until the sky itself looks like armor laid over peace. The wind carries one final whisper. Manifestation complete, maintenance ongoing. You stand still a while longer, watching sunlight move across familiar walls, realizing that the miracle was never arrival, it was recognition. The world didn't change, you did, and the world followed. And in that calm, an inner voice, soft, certain, divine, adds the closing line. Heaven never forgets a file once marked reward. The public recognition. For weeks you have lived inside quiet miracles. Doors opening without noise. Peace following you like a shadow that learned your name. But on this morning, something changes, the invisible begins to announce itself. Blessing stops whispering, it starts speaking in public. The day begins ordinary, coffee, sunrise, silence, until your phone rings with a number you haven't seen in years. A name from the chapter labeled impossible. You hesitate, then answer. The voice on the other end trembles. I don't know why, but I just felt I needed to call and thank you. It sounds small. But inside your spirit, thunder rolls. You recognize the pattern. Heaven is translating invisible honor into visible acknowledgement. Later, walking outside, you feel the world watching differently. Not envy, recognition. People smile longer, conversations linger, even strangers hold your gaze with quiet respect. They don't know the courtroom of light that once debated your worth, they just feel the verdict. And then, as sunlight bends around a passing cloud, the air stills again. The temperature changes. The veil thins. Archangel Michael appears at the edge of your vision, not descending, but revealing, as if he'd been standing there all along, hidden in plain light. No sword now, instead, a scroll of radiant blue suspended between his hands. It is the time of recognition, he says. Heaven's ruling must echo through the earth. What was signed above must now be spoken below. He unrolls the scroll. Across it move waves of light that form images, faces, names, scenes of people whose lives once intersected yours. Some had helped you, others had hurt you, many had forgotten you entirely. Yet each one is now being visited by awareness. Every witness to your trial will become a witness to your reward, Michael says. Justice that stays private is incomplete. Mercy must manifest where pain began. You see it. A colleague who once dismissed you suddenly recommending your name. A door that rejected your idea now opening space for it. An old friend realizing how your silence held more truth than their argument. Each moment glows and spreads outward, creating ripples that overlap like divine geometry. Michael turns his eyes back to you. Do not shrink when honor finds you, he warns. False humility delays blessing. Accept visibility as stewardship, not pride. When heaven exalts you, it's not applause, it's assignment. His words strike deep. You understand, recognition isn't reward for ego, it's confirmation of endurance. The applause isn't for performance but for persistence. Then the angel lifts one hand toward the sky. A column of light descends, forming a ring around you, soft, golden, expanding outward. Within it you feel waves of gratitude, compassion, purpose. This glow, he says, is not for decoration. It's identification. Wherever you walk, people will sense safety. They won't know why they trust you, but they will. This is how heaven marks its ambassadors. The wind rises, carrying his next words like law carved in air. Your reputation is being rewritten. The same tongues that spoke against you will now speak for you. Not because they changed their minds, but because truth has overruled their memory. He pauses. The light steadies. Do not waste energy explaining yourself anymore. Explanation belongs to defendants. You are the evidence now. Those last 5 words fall into you like roots. You feel them spreading through every layer of your being, a quiet strength replacing the old reflex to justify. Michael's form begins to fade back into brilliance, his final line stretching across the wind. Recognition is not promotion, it is revelation. What heaven already knew is simply becoming visible. The brightness dissolves. The street returns. Life resumes, yet nothing feels the same. Within hours the first tangible signs arrive, an unexpected email, a project revived, an invitation you thought had vanished years ago. None of it loud, all of it aligned. Like applause wrapped in subtlety. By evening, you sit in silence again, realizing the miracle isn't that people finally see you, it's that you no longer need them to. And somehow, that very freedom draws them closer. Outside, the sky glows the same soft gold as Michael's scroll. You whisper into it, not as a plea but as a report. Case, divine reward. Status, publicly acknowledged. The wind moves once, like a signature across the heavens. You feel it settle on your skin, the touch of closure becoming continuity. The transfer of authority. Evening settles like velvet over the city, the kind of darkness that feels earned, gentle, not heavy. You sit by the window, watching the lights come alive one by one. Something inside you knows, recognition was only the beginning. When heaven shines a light on someone, it isn't to decorate them. It's to assign them. A faint vibration ripples through the air, like a note struck on a harp that only your soul can hear. The curtains stir, though the windows are closed. Then the air folds, and he is there again. Archangel Michael. This time, the brilliance around him is tempered, less like fire, more like authority distilled into form. In his right hand he holds not a sword, not a scroll, but a staff carved from light itself, engraved with symbols that move as though alive. You've been recognized, he says. Now you must be commissioned. The words echo inside you, not as command but as confirmation. The staff glows brighter, and behind him appears a procession of other lights, beings carrying instruments you can't quite name: balance, compassion, discernment, mercy. Heaven's reward isn't meant to stop at comfort, Michael continues. It graduates into calling. You've proven faithful under loss, now you must be trustworthy with gain. He steps closer. The staff hovers between you. Touch it. You hesitate, but your hand rises almost on its own. The moment your fingers meet the light, energy floods through you, calm, organized, intelligent. It doesn't overwhelm, it arranges. Memories, fears, doubts, all the scattered pieces of identity, fall into harmony. You feel taller, clearer, older and younger at once. Authority is alignment, Michael says quietly. Not domination, but direction. When heaven gives someone influence, it's not to control, it's to correct the flow. The staff dissolves into your palm. A faint mark, glowing gold, remains for a heartbeat before fading beneath the skin. You realize it isn't gone, it's integrated. From now on, he says, your presence will calm chaos. People will listen without knowing why. Systems will shift simply because peace refuses to yield. He looks toward the horizon where city lights pulse like a constellation. The world calls this leadership. Heaven calls it stewardship. Use it wisely. A silence stretches between you, thick, holy, final. Then he speaks again, softer, almost as though confiding a secret. Every trial that once humbled you has become a credential. Every scar has turned to signature. The universe knows your name not by sound, but by resonance. He raises one wing, and scenes unfurl inside it. Crowds finding courage, families reconciling, strangers praying again. All of them connected by threads of light that lead back to you. This is the flow of delegated grace, he says. Heaven's authority is never a crown, it's a current. It moves through whoever remains open. The wind shifts, carrying the scent of rain mixed with fire. You feel neither fear nor awe, only belonging. Michael's eyes soften. Your case file once read Divine Reward. It now carries a second heading, Divine Responsibility. From this point on, blessings that find you are meant to pass through you. You nod slowly, understanding in silence. The old hunger to be seen has turned into readiness to serve. The angel spreads both wings fully for the first time, each feather a timeline, each shimmer a testament, and the night brightens like morning remembered. Carry peace as your proof, he says. Wherever you walk, remind the world that justice and gentleness can coexist. Then, with a single beat of those wings, he rises. The wind that follows bends the trees but does not break them, even creation bows in acknowledgement. As the glow fades, you remain still, heartbeat steady, breath deep. You know something irreversible has occurred. The authority you once waited for has always been trust, and now heaven has trusted you back. Outside, thunder murmurs low across the distance, not as warning but as applause. Somewhere, unseen scribes write a new line beneath your file. Status, appointed.